Hi, first grade. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, Miss Karen and I will be posting a video here on Class Dojo that'll lead you through some fun activities to do. Next week, you'll get a STEAM kit that'll have all the materials you need for your activities. You won't have those kits yet this week, so this week I'm going to make sure your activities are simple things that you can do at home with your journal or with materials that you have at home. But for the activity for today, I'm going to read you a story, and then I'm going to give you a fun writing activity to do for it. So the story I have for you today is called Bug Safari by Bob Barner. Bug Safari. The events described here actually happened to me. The things I learned are recorded to the best of my memory. We can still observe and learn from the great ancestors of the very ants I saw that day so very long ago. Well, last summer. I was lost in a bug-infested jungle one hot summer day. I was all alone, looking for a way back to base camp, when I saw a long line of marching black ants. Where could they be going? It looked like an ant safari. Was this a way out of the jungle? I decided to follow. In all of my travels, I had never seen anything like the ant safari. Some of the ants carried things to eat, such as leaves, seeds, or bits of other insects. The ant safari was in a hurry to get somewhere. The ants didn't even look up at the big dragonfly that buzzed over our heads. We headed deeper into the dark, unknown jungle. I crawled over rocks and through mud. I had to find out where the ants were going. The safari passed under flowers that were humming with honeybees collecting pollen. I was measuring one of the ants with my ruler when the other ants zoomed past me and a slow-moving dung beetle. I noticed that the ants talked to one another by touching antennae on the top of their heads. They all knew where they were going. We were moving quickly, but to where and what? Then I saw them up ahead, red ants. The black ants were fighting them. The tiny red ants were fierce and bit the black ants. The black ants stood their ground and battled for several minutes until the outnumbered red ants finally ran away. One of the black ants took charge. I called it the general. The wounded were treated and the safari continued. I was baking in the sun. I had a drink from my canteen, just one sip left. The ants became very excited. They had come upon a toad sitting in the middle of their path. Most of the ants ran around it, but a few of them got zapped. Why would they keep going with all of this danger? Where could they be going? Then I saw it, a giant green mantis in the bush above the ants. One of the ants was plucked up and eaten, but all of the others marched ahead. They passed under sticky spider webs, spotted beetles, and noisy crickets that made a chirping noise as we passed by. I picked my way through the jungle. I had scraped to my knees and cut my finger and needed medical attention. I bravely pressed onward, hoping I would one day see another human being. All of a sudden, a hairy black spider pounced in front of the ants. The general led the safari around the giant, but I feared the worst. I hid my eyes and ducked for cover. Then with a swooshing sound, the spider was gone. I looked up to see its 8 legs wiggling in the beak of a robin. We were all safe for the moment. The general marched on. I was out of water, famished and covered with bites. Then I heard a faint sound in the distance. I was perfectly still in the brush, so I could listen very carefully. One lone mosquito buzzed past my ear. Finally, I heard the call. A human voice. Base camp. Lunch was ready. To my surprise, I had discovered where the ants were going. I love a good safari, and so do the ants. Man, those ants and that boy in that story, they sure did persevere. They faced a lot of dangers. They faced the big black spider, the praying mantis, the toad, but they didn't give up. They kept persevering and kept marching on. And you know what? That's what we can do too. You know, when things might seem scary or a little bit out of our routine, or just not what we're used to, we can keep persevering and we'll get through. We'll reach our goals. Well, the assignment I have for you today is I'd like you to get outside this week. I want you to get outside, take a walk, explore some nature with your family. And I want you to use your senses when you do so. I want you to look and see, what do you see? Do you see spring flowers growing? Do you see the leaves blowing in the wind? Do you see different shapes in the clouds? What do you smell outside? I know I'm outside right now and I can smell the fresh cut grass. I can smell some yummy food that my neighbors are grilling. What do you hear outside? Do you hear the birds chirping? Do you hear the leaves blowing in the wind or crunching under your feet? And then what do you feel outside? Do you feel the warm sun shining on your face? Do you feel the grass tickling your toes? Well, for your assignment, I would like you to write 4 sentences about your experience outside, about what you see, hear, smell, feel. Remember, every sentence needs to start with a capital letter. You need to have a finger space between each word, and every sentence needs to end with punctuation. You can take a photo of your sentences and post them here on Dojo so me and Miss Karen can see them and grade them. If you want everyone in the class to see it, you can post it right here in the stories section of Dojo. But if you want just Miss Karen and I to see your sentences, then you can post it in the message section. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what you have to write about your experiences.